Illness can bring up so many emotions: fear, confusion, frustration, and even blame. It's natural to wonder, why is this happening? What can I do to heal? But what if illness is not something that's happening to you, but something that's asking to be understood, acknowledged, and released? What if it's a reflection of old, ancient memories, of patterns and energies that are ready to be seen, cleaned, and cleared? Today, I want to share a metaphysical perspective on illness, one rooted in the practice of Ho'oponopono. We'll explore how to clean the emotional and energetic data tied to sickness, why fear and blame are part of that data, and how you can begin to hold your experience differently, allowing for peace, clarity, and healing to unfold naturally, receiving what is right and perfect for you. This is not medical advice, but rather a precious opportunity to shift how you relate to illness and to the emotional charges surrounding sickness, and to see it not as a punishment or failure, but as an invitation to reconnect with the deeper truth of who you are, whole, loved, and inherently worthy and deserving of peace and healing. Let's start with something fundamental. Illness from a metaphysical perspective is not a sign that you have done something wrong. It's not a punishment or a failure. It's a reflection, a messenger bring awareness to something deeper within that has been overlooked. In Ho'oponopono, we understand that the external world, including our physical health and bodies, reflects the energies and the memories held in our subconscious mind. These memories could be tied to fear, grief, anger, guilt, or even generational patterns passed down through families. Illness is not the problem itself. It's the expression of something the mind and body is holding onto, asking for acknowledgement and release. So think of it like an alert system, pointing you towards areas where healing is needed. But here's the beautiful part. You're not powerless in this process. Through Ho'oponopono, you can begin to clean the energetic data tied to illness and create space for healing to unfold, not by forcing outcomes, but by releasing what is no longer helpful. Illness often brings up fear of the unknown, fear of suffering, fear of outcomes we can't control. It's fear-based, fear of fear itself. But fear is not your truth. It's a memory, an echo of past experiences stored and accumulated and repressed in the subconscious. Blame often follows fear. We might blame ourselves thinking, what did I do to deserve this? Or we might blame others, life, or even a higher power. But blame is also data, another layer of memory that keeps us stuck in the energy and the loop of separation. And then there's guilt, which is the heaviest burden we carry. Unconscious guilt is like a quiet background noise that whispers, you are not enough. You need to suffer to atone for something. Guilt is self-punishment. From a metaphysical perspective, this unconscious guilt originates from the belief that we are separate from the divine, from love itself. This belief in separation creates a sense that we have done something so unforgivable. We have separated and sinned against the divine. We have turned away from ourselves and from our original innocence. This ontological guilt is so unbearable that we project it outward onto the body, onto others, or onto circumstances. But here's the truth. This guilt, again, is not who you are. It's not the truth of your being. It's a program, a coding, a belief, a memory, an error that can be cleaned. Ho'oponopono means to correct an error. So when you say the four phrases, you're addressing these layers of fear, of blame, and guilt. You're saying, I'm sorry for holding on to this guilt, knowingly or unknowingly. Please forgive me for forgetting my connection to love, for my unawareness. Thank you for this opportunity to release and to heal. I love you for guiding me back to peace. Through this practice, you're not blaming yourself for the illness. Ho'oponopono is a practice of self-care and of self-love. So instead, you're taking responsibility for cleaning the energy tied to it and allowing the body to reflect the peace and wholeness already present within you. You're responsible for correcting the error. This puts you in a place of agency and power where you are not at the mercy of your circumstances. Let's take a deeper look at illness itself. From a metaphysical standpoint, the body often expresses what the mind has suppressed. Challenging emotions, unprocessed emotions that you have pushed out of awareness because maybe it's too hard to face. These emotional charges, like fear, anger, grief, and guilt, when left unresolved, can manifest as physical symptoms. Sickness is anger projected onto the body. This doesn't mean you intentionally chose to be sick. It means that the energy of the anger, whether conscious or unconscious, needed an outlet. The body, being deeply connected to the subconscious, becomes that outlet. In similar fashion, illness can reflect memories of apathy, grief, or fear that have accumulated over time. These energies create a kind of static in our system, blocking the natural flow of peace, vitality, and prana. The good news is that just as these energies were created within, they can also be released. And Ho'oponopono gives us the tools to do just that. Cleaning with Ho'oponopono is not about forcing a specific outcome. It's not about fixing yourself or making the illness disappear overnight. Instead, it's about clearing the energy tied to the memories, the emotions, and the beliefs that are contributing to your experience of illness. So when you say the four phrases, you're not speaking to the illness itself. You're speaking to the divine within you, to the part of you that holds the power to heal. You're requesting for the emotionalized and the adrenalized charges to be transmuted into peace and light. For example, you might say, I'm sorry for the fear and the judgment I've carried about my body. Please forgive me for holding on to these memories. Thank you for this opportunity to heal and to grow. I love you for guiding me back to peace. Healing begins when we shift out of the lower frequencies, the lower energies like fear, grief, and anger into the higher energies, the higher frequencies like acceptance, courage, and peace. Apathy says, I can't do this. Acceptance says, I'm willing to try. I may not understand this illness, I may not understand the source of it, but I'm willing to hold it with love. Fear says, what if it gets worse? Courage says, I'm ready to face this with love. I trust that healing is possible, even though I don't know how it will unfold. Anger says, why me? Peace says, I trust the process, even if I don't understand it. I'm not the body. I'm something greater, something whole and unbroken. As you clean, you begin to shift out of the fear frequency into these higher states of being, of consciousness. And from this space, healing becomes not just possible, but natural. Courage, acceptance, and peace become the foundation of your reality, and they are the basis for health. One of the greatest challenges in healing is letting go of attachment to outcomes. We want to get better, to feel relieved, to see immediate results. But this concern for outcomes is actually part of the data. It's rooted in fear and control. True healing happens when we surrender, not giving up, not resignation, but by trusting the process and allowing things to unfold naturally, letting the illness run its course without resistance. When you're peaceful and relaxed, you create space for your body to align with its natural state of balance and wholeness. Remember, trust removes all the limits on what you think it can receive. Illness is not your identity. It's not who you are. The real you, pure awareness, exists beyond the limitations of the body and can never be sick. Illness is not a punishment or a sign of failure. It's a reflection, a mirror of the memories and the energies within the subconscious that are asking to be acknowledged and released. When you practice Ho'oponopono, you're not trying to fix yourself because you are not broken. You're working to clear the emotional and the energetic data, the error that is clouding the natural light of your true self. All health is inner peace, and all healing is a release of this fear and guilt. Healing is not linear, it is holographic, touching every part of you simultaneously. Each moment you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, you're not just addressing the body, but also the mind, the emotions, and spirit. You're gently peeling away the layers of separation, of isolation, of fear, and trusting in the process, and remembering that your true self is whole, perfect, and free. I know this is a deeply personal issue, and everyone's experience with illness is unique. If there's anything you'd like to ask about this perspective, or if you'd like to share your journey, please feel free to do so in the comments. Sending you so much love and peace.